This is Block 9, Section 5, the Cold War outside of Vietnam, with the section Peaceful Coexistence and Detente. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, the world kind of did a little bit of assessing, and they realized that the world had come perilously close to nuclear exchange and the end of kind of civilization as you knew it. And because of that realization, the Cold War did kind of thaw in the next couple of years. In late 1963, a treaty was signed banning the testing of nuclear missiles above ground. That any nuclear missile testing would have to take place either deep underground or at the bottom of the ocean. And that was there's an environmental case for that, and there's simply a kind of a back from the brink sense of that. In June of 1963, Kennedy went on television and gave a speech telling the American people that, look, we have to deal with the Soviet Union as it is and not wish away, the Cold War that had been going on since 1945. And he said, look, the United States is not invading and rolling back the Soviet Union anytime soon, and the Soviet Union, Kennedy said, to be quite frank, is not going to be invading the United States anytime soon. That Kennedy said, look, we're going to be, there's going to be a competition and we're going to compete and we don't really like each other, but we have to recognize that the Soviet Union is here to stay. And he attempted to lay down a policy of coexistence with the Soviet Union that was just a little bit more peaceful. And it became the policy of simply peaceful coexistence. And from these beginnings of peaceful coexistence that Kennedy kind of talked about, Nixon's policy of détente, which we're going to talk about at great length in a little bit, came from. A realization that, look, there really was not that much that would justify the superpowers really going at it in nuclear war. In fact, there was nothing that could justify the superpowers going toe-to-toe in nuclear war, and the world had come close enough to annihilation. And a more peaceful coexistence, that the Cold War is not going to end by any means, that the Soviet Union is still a nasty place to live, it still throws dissidents in jail, it still has its slave labor camps, but the rhetoric is going to tone down just a little bit, and we're just going to kind of, for a long time, we're going to deal with the Soviet Union instead of trying to defeat the Soviet Union. And that's what peaceful coexistence and détente are.